Are we getting the countdown?
What is good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the Council of Comics live podcast, episode 4. We'll be talking about D23. We'll be talking about phase 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we'll be talking comics, Canadians, and Cliff. Let's go.
Yeah. Shout out to Madness. Shout out to Madness. Yeah. Rogue Nation 845. Bro. If you don't know, everywhere we go, we in control.
Yo,
What's
not for
good,
nothing.
y'all?
Did you use that last time? That music? That's hot.
Yeah, that's my music. I made that.
I like that.
Right, but you didn't use it last time, did you?
Yeah, I used it last time.
But this feels like a much bigger intro.
It's nice.
No, it's the same one.
I'm losing my shit. That's okay.
Tis the same one, fellas. What's
No, I
good,
mean,
y'all?
All right.
But we got to talk to the audience first. Hold on a second.
Remind me I have a special request about the music.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for episode 4. We got Cliff and Green Shirt Guy here. We got a couple more people coming through eventually. So we should have a nice full council by the end. Cliff, give your shout outs and your socials.
Oh my God. I'm Cliff NY on Instagram and Clifford NY on Twitter. And damn it for all the other Cliffs and Cliffords out there who've made this difficult for me.
Green Shirt Guy.
Hey, I'm Ronaldo, also green shirt guy, wearing green this week. My Twitter and Instagram is both Papi Ray Ray, PAPI and I do have a Patreon if you want to go and check that out too. It's
This guy's got a Patreon.
Look at that.
This guy,
Had it for a while,
he's
but
got a
forgot to mention it
Patreon.
Go check it out.
That's what I like to hear. Go check his Patreon out. So of course we're gonna talk about D23 announcements. We're gonna talk about phase 2, but first we're gonna start off with some comics, some Canadians, and Cliff. I got a few comics I'm gonna show that I picked up from the weekend. But Cliff, give us a brief overview and show us some things you got from Canada.
Well, the first person I saw in the hotel the night before the show when I went downstairs for dinner was Dan Parent, who, as you know, is an Archie Comics artist who created Amber Nightstone.
Amber Nightstone, remember that name.
Yeah, and it's autographed.
Oh, nice.
So that was exciting.
Dope.
And then I met a special French gentleman, Marco Rudy, and I picked up his graphic novel.
Nice, that's dope.
It's great stuff. I highly recommend.
Okay.
And I would like him to come down to the shop.
Okay.
He's very talented, and he's done some Power Rangers.
Nice.
Okay, nice.
So, guy is great. And of course, if you follow my social media, you saw that I spoke with Gail Samoan and I had her sign this for me.
Very nice, very nice.
Now, do you know what I left at home? All my issues of Variants and all my variant covers of Variants. And then her husband, Scott, is like, oh, do you know about Variants? I said, of course I do, Scott. Of course. I'm sitting here in shame that I didn't bring them. I'm ill-prepared. And then what I really love, Batman 125, Ottawa Comic-Con edition. There's the foil.
Nice.
And that's the Virgin. Oh no, that's not the Virgin.
That's a trade dress, yeah.
And then here's the Virgin.
That's That's dope.
So that was very
Is
nice.
that-
Canadian exclusives up going on in here.
What's
Who's
that?
there? Is that Paquette? Is it the artwork?
It is Paquette, yes.
Yeah, I like his style.
It's very good. It was like the first thing I saw when I walked in. I was like, well, here goes all my money.
Right.
You know.
Is
So
he
on the
there
second-
too or no?
Hmm?
Was he there too or no?
No.
He's super nice too. If you haven't met him.
Oh, I bet. Things got crazier the second day. You know, I did get to see George St. Pierre. That man is very intelligent, very fit. He quoted Aristotle. If I thought I was in love with him before, I'm definitely in love with him now. I was in close range of him, and he smells like sex and starlight. I'm very excited.
Oh my God, Clifford! Jeez,
I don't care.
hide your kids.
People, no, just hide your George St. Pierre. And so like that was cool. But so like the second day, like things were out of control. It was jam packed the second day. Just people everywhere, cosplayers everywhere, crazy. I will say this: on day one, I had poutine, right? And this dude is making it in the back of the show, right? And I was like, I don't know if I want to eat, food from the show. And I see the poutine, I'm like, oh my God. I was like, are those real cheese curds? And the guy's like, you bet they're real cheese curds. And I was like, and is that brisket? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, give it to me. So I'm sitting there eating poutine, or whatever they call it, but like, I'm not saying it right.
Yeah,
but I was
like
just eating that show.
poutine.
So I went to
what?
So then I was like, well, let me check out the comic book scene. So the nearest comic book shop was over in Nepean, and I went there. It's called the Comic Book Shop. It's their original location of their two locations. And I missed their Midnight Madness sale, which would have been later that night, but things came up. But I still got 20% off one of these.
Nice.
So this is great.
Nice.
And I paid $12 Canadian.
So with the exchange rate, that's like $7.
Well, it's $1.26.
You joking?
I'm half joking. It's probably close to like 8.5.
Yeah, no, you were doing good. So like that was like super exciting, and I think I may stop there before I leave tomorrow. And of course, I hung out with my cousin Scott at the show, so that was nice. So when we talked to Gail Simone, like he had the Red Sonja omnibus for her to sign. Mm-hmm. Her husband Scott told us about their trip to Puerto Rico and how much they loved it when they went for Puerto Rico Comic-Con. And then here's a great Gail Simone story, and I'm sorry to go over, but we're doing it.
No, go ahead.
So the guy in front of us in line, he brought all these exclusive edition mangas for Gail. They're her favorite mangas, and like one had a leather cover and two others were special. And she's like, oh, these are gifts for me. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, how am I going to compete with this? This guy's bringing her gifts. So they keep talking. And this guy reveals that he's the one who bought the Captain America, whatever. I forgot who the artist was, but he bought the Captain America that was anonymously given to her for $7,000 that sits in her home office. Wow. And her husband was so taken aback. He's like, "Oh, let's go out for dinner." And the guy's like, "Oh, get to the other people in line." I said, "Let me tell you something." I was like, "Gail Simone and her husband are inviting you to dinner. You do whatever you have to. We will wait right here."
Right.
But he left and dismissed himself. And, her husband's like, of course it was a Canadian who was that generous. So the complete story is Gail was really upset with the death of George Floyd. She wanted to raise money to help Black organizations throughout the United States, right? And people of color organizations. So she organized with her colleagues. And she gave up her George Perez original page from the final issue of his Wonder Woman run. Mm-hmm. And of course, a lot of fans were like, "Oh my God, why should you give that up?" And people wanted to buy it from her and give it back to her, and she wouldn't allow it. Ultimately, her and her colleagues raised $400,000. And then the Captain America artist, whose name is escaping me, he makes this beautiful, piece of Captain America, huge. and someone bought it anonymously, $7,000, and made sure it was given to Gail, and now it sits in her home office.
Wow.
And this dude was that dude, and we were all like standing in line while this conversation's going on. And like her husband was like so overwhelmed. And then we were just like chit-chatting about like Secret Six and stuff. And then her husband seemed to remember me, so I was very happy about that. I was like, I love you, Scott.
You're not a forgettable person, Cliff.
I know. I haven't seen Gail in like 12 years, so like it wasn't like she was like, "Oh, of course I know you." You know, it wasn't one of those things. But when I saw Dan Parent, he recognized me immediately, and when I saw Tim, I forgot his last name, but this dude Tim, right? And his last name escaped me. I'm so ashamed. I've seen him plenty of times at Albany Comic Con. He will be at Albany Comic Con this October, but he starts talking mad crap about Ottawa, right? And I'm like, are you Canadian? And he goes, yeah. And I was like, and of course he doesn't remember because I haven't seen him in a long time. But I'm like, dude, how has this never come up before? So now forget it. Now he's never gonna forget me. You know, I'm gonna be that half Canadian dude he sees in Ottawa. And the other good thing was everywhere we went and everyone we talked to, I was like, oh no, Scott's my Canadian cousin. So like that was fun. And then we got to go out to dinner later and whatever. And so I was very pleased, and we've been having a really great time reconnecting with family. And I've had a nice comic book shopping experience.
Nice. So I'm glad you're having a good time over there in Canada.
That's right. Maybe next time you'll come, so I'm not the only American here.
Listen, I want this thing to blow up so the council can go everywhere. You know what I mean? But we need people to subscribe. You watching, you're not subscribed, go hit that button down there. Subscribe. Yeah.
Maybe we can get Disney Plus as a sponsor.
Oh my God, that's like major.
Hey man, that's big.
I think we talk too much crap.
No, I don't think so. I think we say a lot of wonderful things about She-Hulk, and that we deserve some Disney Plus love.
Oh my God, I said horrible things about CGI. They probably get
but I know, but that's not enough to ruin it. We're enjoying the show.
But I picked up some more dollar bin books this week, and I happened to pick up quite a few of the foil covers that were in the dollar bin. So we got let me get this camera. Deathlock 25. Pretty good. X-Men 2099. Newsstand edition. Punisher 2099. Newsstand edition. X Factor 100.
Nice,
right? Night Thrasher number 1. Look at that crisp foil. Namor number 50. I saw this. I was like, oh wow, this was a foil too. Sleepwalker number 25. It's a hidden little gem right there. Nova number 1.
I like that cover.
All right. I got about 3 of these right here. They had 3 of these in those bins, so I snatched them all. Guardians of the Galaxy number 25. Very nice. Guardians of the Galaxy 50. Very nice. That's actually my favorite Guardians of the Galaxy team, by the way. Avengers 366, the gold. Nice. And Quasar number 50. So, I think I'll be putting these. I don't know if I'm going to keep them or put them in a set and sell them for cheap. You know what I mean? But, Bam actually went out to Haven. Shout out to Haven for Heroes. The people's out there in Port Jervis. Another good comic book shop. Bam hit me up. He was like, yo. I went out to Haven. I got hooked up, bro. I was like, yo, it's good people's out there. So, got to check them out. All righty. So, the next thing on the list, D23 happened this weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Oh, sorry, got to get the rest of the bars in there. Where is everyone? I'm sorry. There you are. So, yeah, D23 happened. A lot of people were disappointed. A lot of people were happy. You know, it's a 50-50 kind of thing. There was no X-Men announced, no casting for the Fantastic Four announced, no Blade announcement, but there were other things of note. So, looking at this Uprocks thing, and this is just looking over not just Marvel. There's like over everything. And since we do talk about everything, we might as well, right? So we'll fly through this. You got Andor starting on September 21st. I am highly anticipating Andor. From what the people are saying about it, it's probably going to be the best Star Wars show that has come out.
Did you see the extended little 5-minute scene?
Yeah. So it looks amazing, and I'm happy they kind of waited on this because this was supposed to come out a long time ago, but they actually said, let's wait and get everything right for it. They're gonna start with 3 episodes, by the way, for the premiere, which would be dope. Tales of the Jedi. It's going to be an animated series comprised of 6 shorts, 3 about Ahsoka and 3 about Dooku. It looks great. It's kind of like a mixture almost of Rebels animation and Clone Wars animation. It's kind of like they took the 2 and made like a monster. I saw a couple of them. It's basically how Dooku fell or went to the dark side. And then there's a couple about Ahsoka. But comic book wise, this made the Tales of the Jedi comic from back in the days of Dark Horse blow up because the logo leaked and that book became a spec. Willow. Wait. There's Anthony. Sorry. No, don't go anywhere, Anthony. Anthony, you came in at the right time, my friend.
You talking about Willow?
Yes. We are talking about Willow.
That is one of the greatest fantasy movies ever made, right? There's Dragon Slayer, there's Legend, and there's Willow, right?
I love Willow.
So that's one of the greatest ones I think ever. I mean,
you're leaving out Crawl.
Oh no, I'm not.
Crawl is okay. Crawl is all right.
Crawl is one of the top 10 movies, right? Like if it's on, you watch it. It's like
I feel like Conan should be in there.
That's not. No. Like this Conan is like a bar. Well, yeah, I guess Conan.
No, I was gonna say the Arnold Conan is a little bit sword and sorcery.
Yeah, but
yeah, I would say Willow is sword and sorcery.
Willow though is different because Willow really has like special effects and stuff that were never used in movies before. So I don't know that it holds up. I'm gonna try to watch it again.
I watched it recently. It's pretty good.
It still holds up because that transformation technology, like the stuff that you saw in Terminator 2, we wouldn't have it if it wasn't for Willow, right? That's Industrial Light and Magic. That's where they developed a lot of that technology for that film. So where the one witch changes and stuff. But this television show. It's how many years later? It was like 1988 was the original Willow, right? So this is 2023. So I'm surprised. Like, unfortunately, right? There's no Mad Mortigan, right? Because
yeah, man, that's my boy, Mad Mardigan.
But all of his friends are in it, so it's fine. Christian Slater, a whole bunch of other people you're going to see that are, and they went to, they wanted to make sure that Mad Mardigan is represented in this film, in this show rather. So,
but how, like you said, they say that. Remember, you said that they said Mad Mardigan lives on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a difficult thing that they're gonna do. Like, if you're bringing Val Kilmer back.
Or did Val Kilmer, right? Val Kilmer couldn't film this because of the pandemic. So
right, but pandemic's over now. So what did they mean? Like, what were they going to bring him in to film?
Oh, probably nothing. I don't think he's gonna. That's what I mean. I don't think he's really gonna. It's like he's on another mission, right? He's busy, and Willow's gonna save the world. So maybe though, right? They bring him in last second, and he gets rid of this guy, the bad guy.
What if I throw this at you? What if Willow's a testing ground so they CGI Mad Mardigan like a Luke Skywalker?
True.
Right?
Although they were able to use him on Top Gun, right? Like they didn't want to make Top Gun without him. And what they did is they made his voice, right? They used him and his son to make his voice. And I think, given the time or whatever, you could have him come in and kick some ass real quick and it wouldn't be him anyway. It's double.
What if he's What if it's the big twist and at the end you see him at the very end and he's the big bad at the end?
Oh my god!
Right, or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Or Or what if they leave the poor guy alone? His spirit lives on in other characters that are related to him, and we all call it a damn night.
No, what are you, not a Willow fan? Is this what you're saying?
No, what I'm not a fan of is everything. Okay, my spirit is broken. I'm tired of the world of speculation. All the world of speculation has to offer is broken hearts.
Wow, that was deep. That was deep.
You know, how many of you were sitting on the edge of your asshole waiting for information about Henry Cavill at D23 that never happened?
Not me.
But Henry Cavill doing what? Being
Exactly. But everyone's like, oh, Henry Cavill, D23, oh. And guess what happened? Nothing.
Yeah, but was he there? He wasn't there.
No, it was just everybody was so overwhelmed with speculation. You know, everyone's so excited. It's all they were just foaming at the mouth for it, driving my social media feeds crazy for nothing.
Yeah, but like without Kilmer here, I get it. But at the same time, like he could just be doing something else, right? He went on to do something else. It's fine. I'm just amazed that Warwick Davis is back.
I'm very happy about Warwick Davis. That's great. I'm not mad at Willow. I'm just saying that, you know, I am a happier person when I do not speculate and I just enjoy the ride.
That's what I'm saying. I think that this show looks amazing, and I haven't seen anything else that compares. Nothing. Like that trailer was amazing. And
right.
You know,
no, but I'm just saying, like the whole conversation about Mad Mardigan, it's like, why are we doing this to ourselves? Like, we're just gonna be disappointed. Like, you know,
because we love Mad Mardigan. That's why. Disappointed.
No, I just feel like I don't give a shit. Just give me a great show with Warwick Davis. Let him save the world with the power of magic and friendship. Let my heart feel.
I'm like, that's amazing, right? Like that's fantastic. It's just like how the bad guy asks him, "How are you going to beat me?"
I think they're replacing
last time.
I think they're replacing his character with the character that's in the trailer that has the beard. He's kind of like the warrior guy. I think he's the new kind of Mad Mardigan.
He's like that. Yeah, the warrior guy. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on because there's a lot of stuff here, and then we got to talk Phase 2. The Bad Batch is coming January 4th, 2023. I love The Bad Batch. I think it's a phenomenal show. Ahsoka, Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka Tano gets her own Obi-Wan style showcase. That show is going to be great. Skeleton Crew is a surprise show that popped up out of nowhere. Jude Law is starring in it, and it's created by John Watts. It's a live action show.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Surprise me. Give me something new.
And so is the other show that you just had it up, the new like Clone Wars style the Jedi.
Tales of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mandalorian is coming 2023. If the trailer plays, it plays. I just don't want to get striked or anything. But did you guys see the trailer for Mandalorian?
I did. It was good.
No.
The heartstrings.
Bo-Katan is back.
Bo-Katan is back. And I had an interesting conversation with my cousin. We went to my uncle's retirement party yesterday. And he's watched everything of Star Wars, but he has not watched Rebels. And I told him, I said, bro, I said, you can't. Rebels is such a key block in the Star Wars story. Like, you have to watch Rebels. It's the introduction of Ezra Bridger, who was born on the same day as Luke and Leia. He's very powerful in the Force. It continues the story of Darth Maul. It also continues the story of Ahsoka and Vader, who have an incredible fight scene. It also contains the last fight of Obi-Wan and Maul. And it goes into a lot of things that's beyond the Jedi. And if you're watching Mandalorian or if you're gonna watch Ahsoka, you need to watch Rebels. So
in Rebels, is that where Ahsoka takes half of Darth Vader's helmet?
Correct. Yes.
Yes.
Obi-Wan takes the other half in Obi-Wan. If you watch.
Yes. Yes.
I just can't remember which cartoon, but that's the cartoon that fight happened.
Yes.
Dave Filoni is the showrunner on the live action shows at the moment, right?
Yeah, Dave Filoni. Yeah.
Okay, because it only makes sense that that level of continuity exists there, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, he's in charge of the Mandoverse. He's not in charge of like Andor or
He should be, though.
Obi-Wan and all that.
Well, no, but I was gonna say being a showrunner doesn't mean you're directly in charge, but it does mean that you call shots.
Yeah, he was. Listen, he's the man to do it. Dave
Him
Filoni
and,
studied
him and
under George
Favreau.
Lucas. George Lucas literally taught him, like, it was almost like meta for like life. Like he was his Padawan. You know what I mean? And now he's like a Jedi master. Like he knows when you watch Filoni stuff, you know this is Star Wars.
You know what I like about his work? It's like he took the spirit of everything that George wants, but like he cleaned it up for what the fans want.
Right.
You know, and that's a feat in of itself.
Yeah. Indiana Jones 5. Teaser screened. Who did that? Who did that?
I did.
Don't talk bad about Indy.
Say that.
We be talking bad about
join
Indy.
him.
Forward.
Oh,
Pass.
you haters. You haters.
I'm not a hater. I'm just saying.
Let me put it
let
to
it
you
all
this
go.
way. I'm going to watch it because I've watched the other 4, but I'm so down after the 4th one. I have no expectation for 5.
Listen,
Short
Mangold's
round. You gotta bring
directing.
back short round.
I think he is
If
back.
they bring back short round, I'm in. But
I think he is
outside of
back. I
Let me
think
tell
that's
you,
one of the secret
if
surprises.
Short Round is back, okay, then he needs to be the hero of the movie.
Agreed.
I hear you.
Because I feel like that's the only
And
way
there better
to.
not be any more aliens crap at the end.
No,
I was
also,
so
you know
pissed
what?
off.
You got to be honest. Like all of the
They moved on though, right? Because the Nazis are the villains, and then it's like the 50s. So now it's it's going to be
It's
the
the
60s,
60s or 70s, I think, for this
Huh?
movie. It's like late 60s, 70s for this one.
listen. Let's just be realistic. We never really got rid of the Nazis.
No, well, I mean the
No.
villains. So you keep
They'd be
them
great
around, but I'm
villains.
just saying it would be the Nazis in the
And
60s now.
James Mangold is directing this movie.
Who is?
James Mangold, Logan. He's directing this movie.
Okay.
So I think it's
Who
going to be good.
wrote the script, though? You can have a great director if they got garbage to work with.
Very true. Okay, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, November 11th.
That's the other one. The 2 trailers I've seen that came out of Disney so far, the Wakanda Forever trailer.
There was no new Wakanda Forever trailer, was
No,
there?
just the one that they released.
Oh, the one previously. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be great. They said they didn't have any footage because he was still editing and he didn't want to show anything. We got Ironheart in 2023. A genius teenager builds an Iron Man-like suit. Okay. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. The trailer isn't coming out for a while, according to Kevin Feige, but it was shown at D23. And so basically they said that Kang is making Paul Rudd do a heist in the quantum realm so that he can get Cassie back because he kidnaps Cassie. That's basically
I like it so far.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool.
Now is Ironheart gonna have Tony? Is the question.
No, not at first, because I think that's gonna be part of the whole Secret Invasion, Armor Wars, Ironheart kind of like trilogy series.
The Secret Invasion trailer shows Rhodey as one of the main characters. So it's that probably dovetails into the other show, which will be his show, which will be Armor Wars.
Yeah, so they said that Kang Dynasty comes right after Ant-Man and the Quantum in the timeline, right after Quantumania, and Armor Wars comes right after Secret Invasion.
So what do you think? What do you think about them setting up a villain in one movie? I mean, we had him in Loki, I guess, for a minute, and I'm assuming in Loki season 2, it's got to be about Kang.
Yes, they showed a trailer of Loki, and he's heavy in season 2.
And then Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, or does Loki come out after Ant-Man? So we learn about the guy in the second season. That is.
I think Loki's coming out next year, season 2.
Right, which would be after Ant-Man and the Wasp. That comes out February.
Yeah, so it'll be after. Yep. So I guess it'll be Ant-Man and the Wasp, Loki season 2, and then Kang Dynasty in that little timeline, which sounds right. Did you guys watch The Werewolf by Night?
Yes.
Yeah, that was great.
Black and white.
That's crazy. It looks good.
It looks scary.
Yeah,
it looks great. And I love Gael Garcia Bernal so much.
I think
Is she playing Elsa Bloodstone?
that I'm not sure. I didn't listen for names or whatever. I just kind of watched it and saw that the level of violence is covered up by the black and white, right? No blood. No blood. So it's Disney. Yeah, so you can get
Man Thing is in it. You saw Man Thing?
Yep. A little splotch of his head.
Yep. So Man Thing is in it.
And they'll probably do stuff like make his eyes red, right? They can do it like
yeah, that'd be dope.
Color.
So it's supposed to be a special, right? So is it like a 2-hour movie or like what?
It's like an hour special.
Oh, well, okay, but I'm sure it'll still be good. I like how when they said a Marvel special presentation, I like how the logo they created is reminiscent of the old ABC.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a more dazzling modern version of it, but it looks like the old ABC special
because it is
presentation logo.
ABC.
No, of course, but I mean that's why the throwback.
They went with their own.
Here's another point. Michael Giacchino, the composer, directed this. That's something. He's the composer.
That means the music is going to line up perfectly.
Right.
Should, right? Yeah.
Right. Secret Invasion. Did you guys watch that trailer?
Yeah, that looked amazing. So
that looked really good.
And finally, after all the garbage that we've been dealing with and fighting over and everything, we finally get a trailer for something that actually looks serious and engaging.
And a lot of action. And the other part was, because they tell, of course, Sam Jackson, you're too old for the job, which is awesome. And then at the end, it's I'm the last person standing between them and what they really want, but they don't tell us what they really want. I mean, it's probably the Earth.
It's the Earth, I would think, yeah.
Why would Sam Jackson be the only one to stand between them and what they really want?
Well, I like how it's cryptic, right? Because we don't really understand what's going on. The last time we saw him, he's hanging out with Skrulls in space,
right?
Yeah.
Right. So
we're assuming that's him, but also they kind of show him come down at the beginning, like it is him. Like we're supposed to know that's Sam Jackson coming out of a spaceship, where he's been hiding out. Like
now, do you know what I still speculate? I speculate that although there's Skrulls involved, that it's still the Kree.
Look how his face was hurting when he was like speculation. Because remember you said you're sick of it?
I know, but here I am. But the thing is
I think it's great.
He's
we'll see what actually plays out. But I do like how they kind of. I don't like how it was like I'm the only person standing between them and what they really want, but we don't know what they really want, right? Like, is it they want the Earth, they want the Kree, they have
here's
maybe
my
we
thing.
stole a Skrull,
Do you guys remember that throwaway space of Spider-Man Far From Home where Nick and Maria, who are actually Skrulls, we find out at the end of the movie, are coming out of that International Defense Summit, and they said, "I can't believe how casual everybody is about the Kree spies." It's like a throwaway line that most people don't notice in the mix of that movie, right? Yeah. But so I would assume that we've got our Skrull allies. He's been hanging out with Skrulls in space, and the Skrull allies on Earth are like, "Yo, there's still a Kree problem," and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, they're spies." So I feel personally that they're playing on our knowledge of the comic book Secret Invasion, right? But it may still very much be the Kree are the Secret Invasion looking to happen.
The only problem with that, of course, is that Captain Marvel is half Kree.
Which Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel.
Danvers.
No.
Danvers isn't. Danvers is an Earthling. Remember, in this continuity,
She just got taken to.
Exactly. She's got some Kree
taken.
She doesn't care. She doesn't have a specific loyalty to them. We already took care of that.
Okay. Yeah, because they were the villains in her movie, the Kree. I mean, not because it turned out the Skrulls were actually the good guys. They were the ones.
Right. So so based on the information we have,
that doesn't mean all Skrulls are good, though, right? Just the ones that we met were.
No, but it's also what I'm saying, by calling it Secret Invasion, it's easy to make us think that it's about the Skrulls, right, and that they're the enemy. But I think with all the empirical evidence that we have so far, it could be that it's again the Kree are back, and they were up to no good the first time, so they could just continue the cause.
Right. The Skrulls are actually going to stop them there.
Well, this is just to be fair. The Kree were up to no good to us, but if you're looking at from their side of the coin, they're doing what was in their best interest. They felt that the Nova Corps and that whole screwed them over, so they're fighting back. So it's history's written by those who win.
Right.
So,
and some of the Skrull too. The Skrull think our planet is part of their manifest destiny. Like, right? Our planet is already.
But the movie Skrulls do. It's at this moment in time, the movie Skrulls do not have a manifest destiny with Earth
that we know about.
That we know about. But I'm saying based on what we have. I'm only going based on what we have, right? And also, I'm really hung up on that throwaway line from Spider-Man. I really feel like that has to develop into something.
All right. So next up, Armor Wars. They didn't say much except that it comes after Secret Invasion and that Tony Stark's armor gets in the wrong hands. Justin Hammer's supposed to be back.
Yes.
Leading the thing. And
I'm very.
Anytime you give me some Sam Rockwell, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that. Loki. Season 2, we talked about that. Echo is coming next year. Daredevil Born Again. They had D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox come out on stage in a funny moment. D'Onofrio's like, let me talk about my show. And then Charlie Cox's voice comes out of the background. He's like, your show? This is my show. And then he walks out. So I think they're going to do so many things in Daredevil. For the reason they're giving them 18 episodes. I think the Punisher's coming back. Yeah, I think the Punisher's coming back. What'd you say? It's a what?
It's a reboot.
No, it's not a reboot.
No, you think those are all 45 minutes
not a reboot
episodes? Or are those half-hour episodes?
I would think they're gonna be like 45 minutes. You know what I mean? And Punisher will be back. Defenders will be back. I think they're going to show a lot of other things in here.
Yeah, so here.
Right? Some of the actors did turn on to be more, right? But some of them didn't. Like, do we know the roster? No.
So far, the only one they're thinking about replacing is Iron Fist.
I mean, if they replace him as far as they did in the comic book, I think that's fine. But otherwise, I think he just kind of just like, he's not in New York right now. He's in Cumberland or whatever. You can always bring it back. I don't think it's a good idea to replace him.
Captain America: New World Order. The leader has returned.
Badass.
The same actor that played the leader is back to play him. So this is possibly see the Intelligentsia, which is a group of people who are mad smart, trying to get like the Hulk's blood and all this other stuff, which goes with the TV show with him trying to get She-Hulk's blood. They didn't say that was the leader, but we're pretty sure that the leader has some involvement in that. Thunderbolts. They announced some of the team. So Yelena Belova, Florence Pugh is back as Yelena. Sebastian Stan is back as Bucky. Wyatt Russell is back as John Walker. Olga Kurylenko is back as Taskmaster. David Harbour, which is big, is back as Red Guardian. Hannah John Kamen as Ghost. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
You got it.
I got it. And I'm pretty sure the Abomination is going to be a part of that too.
I'm not sure he can save it.
Did they bring that out on stage to say that these are the Thunderbolts, or they didn't do that?
No, they showed a picture, like a pre-production drawing.
And they said it's not the final casting, but the fact that you got four Captain America derivatives is really freaking pissing me off.
Yeah, it was a lot. But I'm pretty sure Abomination is going to come in there too, though.
But will he save the movie? I can only hope.
I don't know. But they don't want to reveal that because She-Hulk is still going on right now. The Marvels. So Carol Danvers and Iman Vellani came out on the stage, and Tiana Paris came out. And the Marvels is continuing right after the Kamala Khan show, Miss Marvel show. Right where that ended, this is where the movie starts. And Avatar: The Way of the Water is coming out December 16th. I think it's been way too long.
I think it's gonna look beautiful. I think this is
No
another.
thanks.
I think it's gonna look beautiful. I just think I'm not gonna care.
I don't think
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't. I didn't like the first
It's
one.
gotta look beautiful. What?
I didn't
You
like
never
the
saw-
first one. So, what you know, I
Did you
fell
see-
asleep during it. I remember watching that movie. I fell asleep during it. I woke up and said, "Hey, did this, and this happen?" And they were like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty predictable."
Anthony, do you remember my biggest complaint about the first movie?
Wait, remember the first complaint? The biggest complaint?
Yeah, remember the first movie? I was like, yo, this took me out of the film right here, right now.
What was it? I don't remember.
Unobtainium.
Oh, that's right, Unobtainium.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That didn't bother me. It was the rest of the movie. It was like Ronaldo said.
No, but I'm saying unobtainium is the moment that I was taken
Oh yeah,
out of the movie.
yeah.
All right, so there was some D23 announcements.
I think Avatar looks like. I mean, I think we're going to see things we've never seen before. So I'm going to give them a little bit of, I'm going to go see the movie. Right? We're going to go see this in the theater.
Yeah, I think it'll look beautiful.
We may have to go see it in 40x just to get a real
That's
thing.
saying it's splash water.
Yeah.
Yes.
Moving on to the next subject and our final subject of the day. We are doing part 2. This is phase 2 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There are currently 4 phases that will stretch into 5 and 6. But today we are focusing on Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers: Age of Ultron, and the Ant-Man.
I really like The Dark World and Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man. And so, and Captain America: Winter Soldier is one of the better Avengers movies.
I mean, honestly,
let's start off with Iron Man 3. All right, Iron Man 3. This was directed by Shane Black. This tells the story of Tony Stark having PTSD from the Avengers movies. Or wait, only one movie has happened so far.
Avengers movie.
One Avengers movie. I mean, yeah, that would give you freaking heart attacks that you went through a wormhole. You saw like all these alien ships and you barely survived that. I'm pretty sure that would get you.
It got blown back to Earth.
Right. Ben Kingsley is also in this movie playing the Mandarin. I'll put quotes at the Mandarin.
We gotta fix this later.
So the Mandarin, where it comes out, spoiler alert, the Mandarin is not the real Mandarin. He's not even a terrorist.
Spoiler alert for a movie that came out last year.
Hey, I'm trying to help other people. So, come to find out that he's just an actor. And what's the guy's name? What's the other guy's name? The main villain. Do we remember his name? Wow.
Okay.
He's played by Guy Pearce.
That's it.
I forget but they, what is, come on, I need your comic book knowledge out there. What is the thing with the Iron Man and...
Oh, the Extremist technology.
Extremist technology.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they found a way to put like this thing inside human beings that gives them like these powers, but it's very unstable and people have been blowing up all over the place.
But they do save Gwyneth Paltrow.
Right.
This is the one where they introduced the kid too, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, they
I
introduced
always
the
get
kid.
2 and 3 kind of flopped in my head.
Yeah, so Tony ends up getting into a fight. The Mandarin blows up his home, all that other stuff. Great action scene, very tremendous. But he ends up shooting off to like Oklahoma or something like that because of malfunction in the suit. Suit goes dead. He ends up dragging his suit to this house where I guess this kid. I mean, that part always got me. Like he just shows up at this place where this kid is, and he just basically makes his home in this kid's shack. That always got me. So, but then he's going around town and he's trying to figure out what's going on. So he decides that he's going to go to where the Mandarin is.
Also, though, people know who Tony Stark is and they know who Iron Man is. And this kid,
Yeah.
Tony Stark Iron Man, just fell into my lap.
Yeah.
Well, it's a trope
Like,
too
Elon Musk
of the
for a
kid.
visit. It was like, shh, you're like, all right, right? Like we've had
Yeah.
to do that in our lives, right? Where you have that guy show up and you're just like, all right, he's here.
Yeah.
Well, it is. I was just saying, it is a backdoor Christmas movie. Let's be clear.
Right?
Well, but it's the trope too of the kid hiding the pet that they weren't supposed to bring
E.T.
home or whatever in the backyard, and they have to sneak food out to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's basically what he's doing the whole time. We've seen that 1,000 times. This happens to be he's doing with Iron Man.
But were Reese's Pieces involved?
What's that?
Were Reese's Pieces involved?
Wow,
Tony was
that'd be funny.
So Tony goes. The kid tells him basically, you're still kind of like a mechanic or whatever. Just go build what you need. So he goes to some hardware store, builds these little gadgets, and he decides he's gonna go to where the Mandarin is and take care of the Mandarin. He comes to find out that Ben Kingsley's the Mandarin. It's just an actor playing a part in a play. And that was a real awkward moment, even though I liked it. I was like, oh, they gave us a switcheroony. So they end up capturing Pepper, and they kind of inject her with the extremist thing, and which leads to the end scene where Tony is fighting this guy on the screen. He has the extremists as well, and then a real gorgeous end scene where all the Iron Man suits that he's ever made come to his rescue, and he's jumping in and out of Iron Man suits, and it's pretty cool. He ends up defeating this guy. He finds a way to get the extremists out of Pepper Potts. He also goes
but
into
not her bra. Her bra survives.
I
They make
love
a joke about it. They make a joke about it in the movie, so it's all right, right? Like, you wear that, right?
Tony also, remember in part 2, he created the new element that was keeping the stuff out of his heart, but he decides to have the surgery at the end of this movie to get the shrapnel out of his heart, so he doesn't need to have the chest piece in himself anymore. And he kind of, all his suits are blown up.
He
and you're
destroys
thinking
them
that
for her.
Yeah, he destroys them for her, and you're thinking, oh man, no more Iron Man, blah blah blah. And so that's the end of that movie.
But the very next movie, of course, he's got all those suits back.
Yep.
And
he makes a comment. I think he promised to her.
Not the very next movie, but the next time we see him.
The next time we see him.
What are the end credit scenes for this movie? Do we remember?
I don't.
It's the Mark Ruffalo end credit scene where he's using him as a therapist
because he's a doctor.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the movie, you hear Tony Stark talking, and you come to find out in the post-credit scene that's who was there listening to him. He talks through the whole movie, kind of. So, next up, everybody's favorite, Thor: The Dark World.
I don't hate on this movie. I watched it.
Let's be honest. The movie is visually thoughtful and stunning. It is the worst, most forgettable villain. Jane has absolutely zero autonomy in this film. So the movie is garbage and the worst Thor film, but also it's still an interesting film. But it is still garbage and the worst Thor film.
I like this.
I seem to remember liking it. I like
there are things to like. There are things to like, but plot and villain are absolutely not among them. In fact, there's one shot of what's his face here, right? That they use in the movie. Like they use the exact same shot like 3 times, but then they just different lighting. It's literally the same shot. Like I don't even. What is it, Malekith? Like just the worst.
Don't hit on Malekith.
Ever. Worst villain, worst use of Jane. It is pathetic. Otherwise, pretty cool.
So in this one, we'll run through this one really short. The Dark Elves existed before light existed. They were put away for a time. This movie is about basically what is the stone? Is it the Reality Stone? But it's called the Ether.
Yes, it's the Ether. Yeah.
It's called the Ether. Jane, with all her digging and dealing with science, she stumbles upon the Ether. The Ether enters into her body, so she becomes kind of like the host of it. Thor finds this out.
And then becomes the MacGuffin of the movie. Garbage.
The MacGuffin of the movie. Thor takes her to Asgard, and Odin finds out that she has it in her. So the object is to get it out of her.
Pause.
Okay. So Malekith wants the ether because with the ether he can bring back the dark universe from before. Loki is also in this. He is in prison in the beginning. He was taken off in the Avengers. The Thor, while Odin falls into the Odin sleep. Ooh, squeak. Odin falls into the Odin sleep. Malekith attacks Asgard, and Thor's mother, what's her name again? Rhea. She, defending Odin, is killed by Malekith, which sends off. I thought it was a beautiful, like the way they send her off with the lights and all that.
Yep.
That was really, really good. And then
Rene Russo is amazing. Let's just remember that. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Yes. So Thor needs Loki to fight against Malekith because Malekith is he's doing. He killed the mother, so I guess Thor set up some kind of thing where he was going to trick Malekith. He's going to use Loki, but Malekith ends up getting the ether. And Loki is apparently killed, and Thor goes back to Earth with Jane. The reason why I'm all over because the pacing and the stuff with this movie is just kind of hard. It's like boom, 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 boom. But they go back and they find Skarsgård, right? Is it Skarsgård?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's in the loony bin, and he's trying to tell everybody he's on the big chalkboard. Was that the bad
dude,
terminal?
you are so all over the place. He tells them that they need to use like those weather conduits to control where the portals are going to happen.
Right,
So
but they find him in the psych ward.
Yeah, of course they find him in the loony bin. He's running around naked.
Yeah.
That's not important. It's fun, but it's not important. Yeah, the point is that he's just like, oh my God, they have the MacGuffin. Oh, look, I may be crazy because Loki was inside my head, but here's how to solve the MacGuffin. Go, everyone, go, fix it. You know?
All right, those are Cliff's notes right there. I'm trying to give a
because
general
I'm just saying
thing.
that is what it is.
We
all know the movie's trash. We
Oh,
all know the movie's trash.
I love it. You can call it trash all you want. I love it.
No, the thing is, you can still love trash. It's fine. I love trash too.
I rate this higher than the first Thor movie. For me, the first Thor movie is a snore.
Let me tell you what I like about the first Thor movie and this Thor movie. That's very important, and that goes off the rails after this movie. Thor being an outsider is the joke, and Thor himself is not the joke.
Right.
Once we hit Ragnarok, Thor is the joke. And I feel like maybe that's not something they should really continue to do.
Very true. So they figure out a way to defeat Malekith. They capture the ether. There's an end scene where Thor comes back to see Jane. A little fun tidbit is the woman he's really kissing in that scene is his wife.
Yeah.
In real life, which is pretty cool. And the other end credit scene is 2 of the Warriors 3 bring the ether to the Collector, played by Benicio del Toro, and he says 1 down, 5 to go. And that leads us into the next movie, which is probably one of my favorites of all time.
It's amazing.
Captain America, the Winter Soldier. As Steve Rogers struggles to embrace his role in the modern world, he teams up with fellow Avenger and SHIELD agent Black Widow to battle a new threat from history, an assassin known as the Winter Soldier. So some of us that are comic book people, we knew off the bat what this was. So we're more about how are they going to reveal this? How are they going to do this? But for people who are just coming in, it was an actual shock. It was a shock. Yeah.
It's a cool moment that they brought back his friend from the first movie, right? Like this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this movie starts off with a great beginning. it's Captain America, it's Rumlow, who Future Crossbones, and Black Widow, and they're on a mission for Fury because they got to get some information from this ship. And they go down, and there's a good fight scene between what's his name? Who's the guy?
Batroc the Leaper.
Batroc the Leaper,
which is George St. Pierre.
Another
Thank you very
George
much.
St. Pierre.
I like all the extraneous, weird-looking characters that have great costumes. Love Batroc. I love Malekith. That's what I'm saying. I love all the weird ones. So for me, Batroc being in it was like, yeah.
And
Batroc was cool though, right?
He was.
He faces Captain America.
I wish he would have had a handlebar mustache, but I'm good.
And then they get the information, foreshadowing Cap's like dark side or whatever. His uniform is different now. It's a little more militant. It's not like shiny and bright. Even his shield is like the colors are a little like diluted on it.
And it's scraped up too, isn't it? In this one, there's a bunch of bullet.
So a new character is introduced by Robert Redford. He's playing, I guess, the head of. Is he the head of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, he's like senator. That's the head of he's like the whatever the intelligence.
But he's above Fury though.
Yeah, he's the governmental side of basically that makes sure that Fury gets his funding, but he makes all the big decisions.
Yeah. So basically, behind the scenes, they've been building this huge armada of a force, and Nick Fury shows it to Captain America, and Cap off the bat is like, "This isn't freedom. This is fear." The fact that you're preparing for something that you think might happen, but you don't know is going to happen. So you're kind of like dictating what's going on. So he has a conversation with Nick Fury. He has a conversation with Robert Redford. Then they switch the switch on Cap, and they're like, Cap isn't down with this. Let's take him out. Which leads to a classic scene where he gets in the elevator.
Yes.
And all the soldiers are in the elevator with him, and he realizes what's going on, what's going to happen, and he says, "One question, guys. Before we start this, does anybody want to get out?"
And originally, he said, does anyone want to get off?
Yeah.
So.
What's wild in this movie too is
they edited it.
We all know how that went.
There's a lot of magnetized stuff in that scene, but what's wild about it is you forget in this one and in no other really Marvel movie does Cap have the magnetized shield where he can, kind of do one of these and it flies onto him.
Yeah.
At no point in any of these other movies do you see that. So like we should have seen that coming in this scene.
The last Avengers movie?
What's that?
I mean, going forward, I don't think they forget that.
No.
It doesn't get used again.
Yeah, it doesn't. Because even in Endgame, he like straps. You see the straps like.
Right.
So he gets out of the elevator scene, jumps out of the elevator. This is straight from the comics, by the way. Like all these scenes right here are straight from the comics where Cap is escaping. He gets past the plane when he throws the shield with the bike, and he basically goes on the run. Sam Wilson is introduced in this movie. Very fun scene in the beginning where Sam Wilson is running around the memorial pool, whatever the thing is, and Cap keeps like circling him, and he's like, on your right, or on your left, on your left.
What's wild for me when you watch that scene too is obviously it's not shot right away. It's like shot in pieces. But if you watch Chris Evans, he's full on sprinting the whole time.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine having to do that, even if you cut it over like, a couple hours at different spots. He's sprinting at least 100 yards each time.
Yeah. So Cap remembers that he had a conversation with Sam Wilson, and Cap shows up to what Sam Wilson is doing. I guess it's a veterans group for the military. And Cap, he's starting to fight with what's right and what's wrong with the government. So when Cap is on the run, the first person he goes to he finds Black Widow because he's on the run. Black Widow, I left out a big scene. I'm sorry. They almost killed Nick Fury. So Nick Fury goes in a tremendous car scene. where he's trying to escape for his life. He ends up escaping, and he hides out in Captain America's apartment, which also introduces
Sharon Carter.
Sharon Carter, who is Peggy Carter's niece. She acts like she's a nobody, but she's really a spy for S.H.I.E.L.D., spying on Steve Rogers. Cap finds Black Widow. He's like, what's going on? This, and that. They end up teaming up. They find Sam Wilson, and they decide that they have to take down S.H.I.E.L.D. because S.H.I.E.L.D. has been taken over by Hydra. So Cap goes and gets his old suit from the first Avengers, from the first Avenger, and I thought that was great. Sam Wilson gets Black Widow to go steal him his wingsuit, that which makes him the Falcon, and then they go against Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. They show up, they do wreck. The Winter Soldier shows up. They end up shutting it down, but Cap and Winter Soldier have a tremendous fight where Cap just basically stops fighting him. He's like, I don't want to fight you. You're my friend. Kind of like breaks the programming on Bucky a little bit. And the ships fall. He falls in the water. It shows that Bucky saves him. And end of the movie is Cap healing in the hospital with Sam Wilson. And they go to a graveyard where it says that Nick Fury is dead, but he's not. He shows up, and he's just going off the grid. And Black Widow gives some information about the Winter Soldier to Sam and Steve, and the movie ends.
You forgot a big thing.
What did I forget?
You remember the part where they go in the bomb shelter in the old?
Zola.
Harmon Zola.
Yeah, so they go into
really there.
Yeah, they go into the bomb shelter. And Zola has transported his mind and everything onto analog tape, if you can, if you can imagine, which is pretty cool. So, and they drop a bomb on him, but they get out of there. What were the end credit scenes for this?
Well, no, but he says that, hey, as much as you think Hydra went away, Hydra's been here the whole time, lurking in the shadows, which comes important later because they use that later. And then you remember when Robert Redford dies, the last thing he says is "Hail Hydra." He's laying there, his last breath is "Hail Hydra."
Yeah.
And then you find out that
the after credit scene.
Gary Chandler's a Hydra too.
Go ahead, Cliff.
No, the after credit scene is Baron Strucker and the twins.
Yes. So they show Wanda and they show Pietro Quicksilver, and they say this is the age of miracles. Before they could say mutants, so they put miracles in there, blah, blah, blah. Next movie. So we're going to have to fly through these next three because we're running over an hour already. Guardians of the Galaxy. This was a movie that nobody thought was going to be able to get made and be good. But James Gunn came along and gave us a fantastic movie.
Top three. One of my top three. Without question.
Right.
This is why I think the new Black Panther movie is going to be good. I saw the trailer, and I told people that if this movie is half as good as the trailer, which it was, that they have a hit on their hands. So I think that with the Black Panther movie, the new one coming out, I think the same thing. I think it's going to be one of their top movies. And it's kind of an unexpected thing, right? You got a talking raccoon, a talking tree, a talking tree who only says "I am Groot," and a bunch of aliens, right? Like. Yeah.
Well, no general recognizable characters unless you read comics too. There's pretty much a whole new cast of people nobody knows who they are.
Yeah.
But also neither was Iron Man. So
yeah. So
I had somebody today ask. They were like, "I didn't know Blade's a Marvel comic book character." Like yeah, Blade's a character. So people still don't see the connection or feel the connection. And, maybe they think these characters are just made up for the movie, but they saw it because something appealed, right? Not just that it was Marvel, but something else appealed to people to make this one of the biggest movies of all time.
Yeah, I mean, we think as comic people, we think everybody knows about these things, but
nobody knows about
small percentage.
Yeah.
So, Guardians of the Galaxy starts off with Peter Quill, going and getting the orb, which turns out to be the Power Stone inside the orb. He eventually, through fits and shenanigans, meets up with Rocket, meets up with Gamora. Gamora is the daughter of Thanos, or stepdaughter of Thanos, if you want to say. So she's trying to get the stone, seemingly for Thanos, but she wants to get rid of it because she doesn't want Thanos to have it, because she knows that he's collecting the stones. They also meet up with what's his name?
Drax.
Who played Bautista?
Yeah.
Bautista, yeah.
Bautista. They team up with Drax. He hates Thanos. He wants to kill Thanos. And Ronan the Destroyer is
family.
Ronan the Accuser.
Ronan the Accuser is the villain of this story. He wants the orb as well, thinking that it's for Thanos, but he eventually reveals that he is taking the orb for himself.
Mhm.
He eventually gets the orb, and he tries to destroy Xandar. But the Xandarians, which were Nova comes from, the Nova Corps, they put up a nice little good fight. The Guardians show up. There's the dance-off, the famous dance-off from this at the end of the movie where he distracts him. I thought it was pretty efficient, and it worked. And then the NC where they're all holding the stone. It took all of them together to hold the stone, and they're like, "We're the Guardians of the Galaxy." It was just the moments of campiness were at the perfect spots.
And Groot had to sacrifice his life.
Yes, and Groot sacrificed his life, which gave birth to Baby Groot.
Yep.
Which comes at the end.
That's the after credits was Baby Groot dancing.
Yeah.
Best soundtrack out of the entire MCU.
Oh, the soundtrack was amazing. It made me go out and buy the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next on the list, and you would think this is the last movie in the phase, but it's not. Avengers: Age of Ultron.
So good.
This came out in 2015. This was directed by. Oh, why did I forget his name?
Joss Whedon.
Josh Whedon. Yes, Jess.
Criminally sexist scum of the earth. Joss Whedon.
Yes. Allegedly.
What do you mean allegedly? Should we call his ex-wife? Should we?
No. You must understand the rules of the platforms that we're talking on here. You must say allegedly.
I'm not alleging nothing. What's his name is in my hotel right now. I'll go get Monsters and we'll talk about it. I'll find him.
So, Avengers: Age of Ultron starts off. Cliff, give us a quick run through of this. Can you remember this movie?
I remember
green shirt guy. You just watched this. Give us a quick run through.
So yeah, this starts off with the Avengers are attacking a fortress that's held by Strucker. Strucker's got the twins that we saw at the end of the last movie. He also has Loki's scepter, which has this power source in it that they don't know exactly what it is. Long story short, they take down the fortress. Twins get away, but they take the scepter back to whatever their new the new headquarters, which is the new Stark Tower.
Yes.
And they do some schematics on it. Realize that there's something inside of the gem that's on the outside, and it's this overreaching. They realize there's more to it than that. Meanwhile, I'm trying to think when Tony has made an AI that kind of comes. Over.
Was that he made AI to protect the world? He wants to protect the world because of the vision that he saw
through Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch did a little hex on him, and she's making everybody see visions. And the Hulk goes bananas.
Right.
But we don't see
the
vision.
They all see visions. That's right.
Yeah, we don't see the vision that the Hulk has, but he goes bananas, and we finally see the Hulkbuster armor from Tony Stark, and he does some work on the Hulk. I guess the Hulk gave up, basically, because when he looked at everybody, it was just like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. Because I'm sure that one punch from the Hulkbuster after that is not knocking him out. You know what I mean? So I think he kind of gave up. Then Ultron is created.
Right.
Right? He becomes aware.
Becomes self-aware, yeah.
Yeah. And he decides, after looking at all humanity and history, that the best thing for this planet is to get rid of all the humans.
Mm-hmm.
So Ultron is born. He creates these little Ultron bots. He ends up getting like vibranium from Wakanda.
Yes.
So he gets
with Claw.
He updates his suit for vibranium. He kidnaps Dr. Cho, who is Amadeus Cho's mother. And he gets her to create a synthetic like body that he can eventually live in, that's indestructible type, blah blah blah.
And it becomes Vision.
Yeah. The Avengers take that body, bring it back to their place. Tony's like, look, we can actually make this happen. He's still on this, like, let's do it right. Ruffalo is just like, yo, did you see what just happened? What are you talking about? Cap tries to stop him. The twins try to stop them, but Thor comes in.
He convinces Banner, though. He's like, he goes, if it's not us, it's gonna happen. So who better than us to do this?
Yeah, and then Thor is having he goes to this well or this cave where he sees this vision of Asgard dying, everybody dying, and I guess he sees what he needs to do, because he shows up in the middle of that fight between Tony and Cap and everybody and puts the hammer on the thing, the lightning, and basically brings Vision to life. Vision comes out. Pretty dope scene where he flies to the window and he's just looking out at the city, and he's just like, okay. And then he looks at Thor and he creates his little cape, which is pretty cool, because he sees Thor with the cape. And Thor, they're like, all right, let's get out of here. Let's go stop Ultron. And Vision grabs the hammer and gives it to Thor. And he's just like, oh, because they just had a little contest before where nobody could lift the hammer. But it's revealed that Cap could lift the hammer.
Well, you remember,
he just decided not to.
Yes, he moves it and he looks at him and doesn't do it.
Because he doesn't want to hurt Thor's feelings or whatever like that. So Ultron is getting into everything. He kind of shuts the Avengers down. They have to hide away at Hawkeye's hideaway where his wife lives and all that. And, they have a little moment amongst themselves, foreshadowing the Civil War that's coming between Tony and Cap.
And they have an Under Armour commercial.
Yeah, and Nick Fury shows up, tells them they gotta, step up and do what they gotta do. So they step up and they go to fight Ultron. Ultron's plan is to take a piece of Sokovia, lift it up out of the sky, and just drop it on the Earth at such a speed that it's like a nuclear, like the dust and everything would just blanket the Earth and it'll kill everybody. He actually succeeds in getting that land out of the ground, and the Avengers stop him. So they kind of blow up the thing, so it's damaged, but it's not as much damage. Ultron is destroyed, but there's one bot that's left, and a Vision finds him, and then they have a little talk, and Vision destroys him.
Quicksilver gets killed.
And Quicksilver gets killed.
Which is big for Wanda later.
Right. The end of the movie, Captain America and Black Widow are basically training a new Avengers team, which includes Wanda, Falcon, who's the other person?
War Machine.
Vision. Yeah. Vision. Yeah. What were the end credits for this movie?
Just watched it too. It was it's the one where Thanos comes out and you see the gauntlet and he says, "Fine, I'll do it myself."
Fine, I'll do it myself. Good old Josh Brolin.
And then, in fact, I think when they're walking, because Cap and Iron Man and Thor are walking down the hallway, and they're kind of going to go their separate ways for a little while. And Thor says it's no coincidence that 4 of these stones have shown up recently. Somebody's pulling the strings behind all of this. We just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
And then they have that whole conversation of whether an elevator can lift the hammer because it's not a thing. So it's one of those conversations.
Boom, and then it goes into Ant-Man. Ant-Man is directed by somebody help me out here.
Peyton Reed, who was the replacement director, right? Like Edgar Wright wrote it and was supposed to be the director, and then they made all sorts of changes.
Yeah, Edgar Wright was the first guy. They made changes. He didn't like the fact that they were taking away a lot of his creative control, so he left, and Peyton Reed came on. I like Ant-Man.
I did too. I remember when they announced this, a year or so before it came out, and I was like, Ant-Man? You're using Ant-Man as a movie? I don't know about that. And then when it comes out, and you're like, no, all right, you're right. I'm with it.
Ant-Man is just a simpler story. It's basically about Scott Lang, who is a thief. He goes to jail. He gets out of jail. And Hank Pym, who is played by Michael Douglas, basically sets it up so that he has to steal something from his house because Michael Douglas is trying to see if he's got the goods to help him out and steal stuff. So he goes there, he steals the suit, he gets arrested. Michael Douglas breaks him out.
Yeah.
He has the little ants come in, give him the suit and all that, breaks him out of the jail. And he basically says, he's like, I want to do whatever I can to help. I'm tired of doing this and that and stealing shit. I want to go good. And Michael Douglas is like, great, because I need you to break into somewhere and I need you to steal some shit. So he ends up and doesn't tell him what it is. And as they're flying over, the clouds break and it comes to show he needs him to go into Avengers headquarters and steal something for him. And he's like, yo, you're making me break into Avengers headquarters? He's like, are you crazy? So he tries to break in, and the Falcon spots him. And they have which I thought was a pretty cool fight between the Falcon and him. He's like, who are you? He's like, I'm the Ant-Man. He's like, what?
I do love how he apologizes the whole time, too. It's like, I'm really sorry. I don't want to do this.
Really sorry, man. And he ends up getting what he needs out of Avengers headquarters. He defeats the Falcon. And what he needs is... what was the thing that he got him to steal? It was wasn't it like a miniature building or something like that?
I don't remember. This is the one I didn't get to.
It was some kind of miniature device or something like that.
No, I think it was the building because that's like where he has like all of his stuff.
It has all his stuff. So Michael Douglas's character, Hank Pym, he's no longer with Pym Industries and all that stuff. And there's a new guy running it, which is kind of his protege. He didn't give him the formula for it. So the protege is kind of like trying to create his own version of it. He ends up creating the Yellow Jacket suit. And basically, the movie is just Ant-Man goes and fights the Yellow Jacket to save his daughter, it happens in a little fun scene where Ant-Man is fighting Yellow Jacket on like these toy train tracks, and it looks really cool. But I like when they pull out and they give you like a real view, and it's just like
nothing's really happening,
which is pretty cool. They end up fighting. Of course, Ant-Man wins, saves his daughter, and that's the end of the movie.
This is one of my favorite Marvel movies. It was kind of made by committee or whatever, so a lot of people don't like it for that reason.
Yeah.
But Paul Rudd saves the movie, right? Michael Douglas is great. What do you want?
Michael Pena is fun in this movie too.
Oh, that's the other thing.
I love
right?
Michael Pena.
Really, really funny moments, right? Like just being able to describe, like, there's been jokes about it since this scene. It's like, they should just have a whole movie. Him and the
and Dr. Darcy. Him and Dr. Darcy.
Yes.
Movie, right? Like,
I would love to see that.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
Fine. So disagree with the hate on this film or whatever, but because I don't know, I really liked it. I really like this film, and it's because I think Paul Rudd's performance and I just felt this was one of the stronger Marvel movies. It was just fun.
Definitely. So that ends Phase 2.
Oh, the other thing about that movie, about Ant-Man, it ties into the other movies, right? The Avengers aren't home, so he has to fight the Falcon.
Yeah.
and the end credit scene for Ant-Man is a preview of Civil War.
Yes. Which
right. So isn't it with Bucky, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So next week we will be covering Phase 3. Oh, it's a lot of stuff in Phase 3. I don't know if we're going to be able to cover anything about a Phase 3.
Oh, no, that's a lot. Avengers Endgame is the end of Phase 3? Or
no, Spider-Man Far From Home is the end.
We should split it.
That's a lot.
Parts.
You know what's funny about
we can do that. We can do that.
Movie.
Okay, so we'll split it. We'll do Phase 3 Part 1. We'll do Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, and we'll end it on Black Panther, which is pretty cool to end on. And then the following week we'll do Phase 3 Part 2. We'll do the Avengers movies, the Ant-Man, Captain Marvel, and the Spider-Man.
Was Black Widow supposed to be part of Phase 3?
Black Widow.
I know it got.
I want to say yes.
Okay. Before Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was Black Widow was talked about like being like early in Phase 3, but they were having like difficulties with it. I forget what kind of difficulties they were having with it, but it kept getting delayed. So, and then COVID hit and it was a wrap.
Right.
All right. So let me get us back to full screen over here.
I just want to say that to me, Black Widow fits in so much earlier anyway. Even if it came out later, it's not like a phase.
Yeah. The only thing is like the movie, at the end of the movie, you're updated.
Right, which is if you try to watch these movies in the order that they come out, they just won't. Right, it just ruins it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later too. But yeah.
All right. So any final words, guys? Overall, you good?
Thor: The Dark World. Go see it. Enjoy it.
Wait,
remember that it's still the worst Thor movie.
Oh, Dark World is not the worst Thor movie.
What's the worst Thor movie for you?
The first
for
one.
me?
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder. I don't know.
I didn't hate it.
It's so bad that Taika said he's not making the next one.
I didn't hear that.
Also, don't feel like it's his fault.
But my last closing thing is do not forget that Charlie Cox confirmed that Daredevil is a reboot.
Where'd he do that? I ain't seen no line for that.
If you go and you go to our private chat, I sent you the link.
But is it a reboot? You know what I mean? Like
he said, it's a season 1, not a season 4. His words.
Yeah, but of a new storyline. Yeah,
it's called Reboot.
Big doubt.
Wait. Did he get like? How did season 4 end? Did he get crushed? Did he die? Like what happened?
No. What's her face got crushed?
Elektra?
Yeah.
But what happened with Daredevil? He just walked away at the end.
He got back together with Foggy and what's her face. They cleared up all their things. And they
Karen.
were good.
In the meantime, then Karen just jumps off onto the Punisher.
Which was great. Punisher was great. All right.
It is, except for the lack of continuity. It was fine.
No, I didn't think there was no lack of continuity.
How was there lack of continuity?
Dude, she never addresses
you're using the same...
her history prior to the show.
I must look into this. I still don't think it's a reboot. Anyway,
I have a hard time
This
believing it's a
is a
full
reboot.
reboot when you bring in D'Onofrio and you're bringing back the same actors.
yeah, you can say it's a different
and you're
timeline.
tying
No,
it
you
in
can say it's a different
with,
universe.
A different
Well,
world.
tied in with Hawkeye. So how do you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right, but the
Probably
point is,
well.
it is a reboot of the Netflix series that you know.
Copy.
And thank you, multiverse. There you go. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Probably the easiest explanation, right?
Yeah. All right. So from everybody in the Council of Comics, you guys, please remember to like and subscribe below if you're watching on YouTube. Click that button. Click the notification button. We thank you for all your support. You can also follow us on TikTok and Instagram from the Council of Comics. To everybody out there, we love you. Take care, and we'll see you next week. And we'll also see you tomorrow. Cliff, you good tomorrow? No? I think you're busy, right?
I'm probably traveling from the US, from the Canada to the US.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing new keys. I'll send it in the group chat. I'll send a link in the group chat. I'm gonna do the new keys live. So join us tomorrow for that live stream. You guys be safe out there. From the Council of Comics, from Cliff, from Green Shirt Guy, from Alterniverse,
from Canada,
and from Canada.
We'll check you guys later. Peace.
Night.